Europe will not be a part of the Ukraine peace talks, U.S. envoy says. Europe won't have a seat at the table for Ukraine peace talks, Donald Trump's Ukraine envoy said on Saturday, after Washington sent a questionnaire to European capitals to ask what they could contribute to security guarantees for Kiev. Trump shocked European allies this week by calling Russian President Vladimir Putin without consulting them or Kyiv beforehand and declaring an immediate start to peace talks. I mean, again, none of this should be that much of a surprise. He did the exact same thing in Afghanistan. When the United States surrendered to the Taliban, there was no inclusion of the Afghanistan government there. So why would we expect this to be any different? There was no inclusion of the Palestinians in the Abraham Accords, so why would we expect this to be any different, right? Trump administration officials have also made clear in recent days that they expect European allies and NATO to take primary responsibility for the region, as the U.S. now has other priorities, such as border security and countering China. True, our border is so fucked. The U.S. moves have stoked fears that Europeans may be cut out of a peace deal that would also impact their own security, particularly if it is seen as too favorable to Russia. Kellogg told a global security conference in Munich that the U.S. would act as an intermediary in the talks with Ukraine and Russia as the two protagonists. Asked about the prospects of the Europeans being at the table, Kellogg said, "I'm from a school of realism. I think that's not going to happen." At a later event at the conference, oh, that's good. So the U.S. is taking a leadership role finally, and we're doing it to cut Europe out of peace talks. That's good. At a later event at the conference, Kellogg sought to reassure Europeans by declaring this did not mean their interests are not considered, used, or developed. But European leaders said they would not accept being shut out of the talks. There's no way in which we can have discussions or negotiations about Ukraine, Ukraine's future, or European security structure without Europeans, Finland's President Alexander Stubb told reporters in Munich. But this means that Europe needs to get its act together. Europe needs to talk less and do more. Stubb said the questionnaire the U.S. sent to Europeans will force Europeans to think. The Americans are approaching European capitals and asking how many soldiers they are ready to deploy, one diplomat said. France is discussing with its allies the possibility of holding an informal meeting among European leaders on Ukraine to discuss these matters, although nothing has been decided at this stage, a French presidency official said on Saturday. Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski said it would take place on Monday. Jesus Christ. Is there a shortcut? Isn't there a shortcut in Obsidian to insert a date? I'm in Munich, and people keep asking me to decode Vance's speech. Okay, and Vance, English free speech means let Musk run your elections, and democracy means let Russia run your elections. Now move on. 2025 is about what Europeans do, not what Americans say. Damn. Oh no. Hold on. I read somewhere that no. Wait, did I close this? Fuck. Did somebody have a backup of this tweet? No. Whoever has this open, this tweet, whoever has this open, screenshot it and post, please. I already closed it on my computer. Somebody said the only reason why she tweeted out that thing about Elon Musk and her baby is because it was Valentine's Day, and she was trying to remind Elon Musk and whatever woman he was with that she just gave birth to his kid a while ago, I guess. This website is the crowning jewel of our civilization. Ashley St. Clair plotted for half a decade to ensnare Elon Musk. Ashley St. Clair. Well, he actually has 7 kids and goes through women pretty fast. Laugh. I need to get Elon Musk's attention for a marriage proposal. Please, Greg. Elon Musk. Whoa. Elon, we've been trying to communicate for the past several days and you have not responded. When are you going to reply to us instead of publicly responding to smears from an individual who just posted photos of me in underwear at 15 years old? What the fuck? Wait, hold on. These might be risky clicks right now. Hold on. Oh. What is, I found a photo of him at the time. Stop linking her tweets, because I think her tweets are all deleted. I don't get it. Was this a few days ago, or? That's Epstein's wife. Oh! Wait. It's Ghislaine. Based. Okay. Oh no, she's crashing out. It's interesting that Elon is responding. This was February 15th. This is a little bit ago. Is it Ghislaine? I don't know how to Gmax, whatever. It's interesting that Elon is responding to this clearly in-jest screenshot that was discussed with his team months ago in a documented call. Now he decides to respond to it publicly from an account that posted underage photos of me as if he wasn't asking me to have more children last week. I would like to take this offline for our child's sake and have been attempting to do so for weeks. FYI, the security team on Elon's own platform locked the account he is now responding to for a week for posting a non-consensual underwear photo of me as a child. Wait, how old is Ashley St. Clair? Well, I guess I just assumed she was in her 30s, but maybe not. Or I guess she doesn't look, she looks young. 27, 26? Thanks for the call, Chris. We're bouncing the post for non-consensual nudity. Given that it's paired with a threat to expose as well, we're increasing the timeout period to 1 week? What? If you post a non-consensual nudity pic of a 15-year-old and then you threaten to expose, that's a 1 week ban? Wait, what the fuck? This will also help us, will help get us to the right of this news cycle on Ashley. Get is also using the media matching tool to surface additional instances. I like how their head of safety is helping media management as well. That must be nice. Jesus. What the fuck? X has significantly increased creator payouts by paying based on engagement from verified/premium users instead of ads and replies. Payout. For what, 2 weeks? $7,500. Holy shit. She has 1.1 million followers, by the way. Yeah, because she used to tweet like crazy right-wing shit literally all the fucking time. Pretty sure she's been in my tweets a lot. Back when I was tweeting like 6 months ago. She's like one of those permanent like Twitter accounts that's like always tweeting constantly on like right-wing shit. With how many children Elon has, I wonder if he has a standard payment plan for each additional one. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm actually really curious. For structuring child support, like, I wonder if Elon's child support payments are fairly low, since most of his income is in the form of, like, capital gains. Like, his actual, like, not W-2 income, but, like, his 1040, like, just pure income is probably not that high. Imagine you're some woman, you have a kid with Elon, and he actually is, like, paying you, like, $600 a month in child support, and you're like, fuck. The fuck was that? MAGA influencer Ashley St. Clair deleted this tweet about Kamala Harris after announcing she had a baby with Elon Musk. Kamala can't help herself from bending over for a man to get ahead. Jesus. This is a seminal moment in my understanding of Elon Musk. Which of Musk's kids were conceived naturally? Elon Musk has 12 children. Only one is known to have been conceived naturally. XAAZ, his first child with Grimes, born in May of 2020. The rest of his children were conceived through IVF or surrogacy. With Justine Wilson, he had 5 children via IVF, twins Griffin and Vivian, and triplets Kai, Saxon, and Damien. His twins with Siobhan Zealous, Strider, and Azure were also conceived via IVF. Additionally, his second and third child with Grimes, Exa Dark, Siderail, and Techno Mechanicus, these poor kids, were born through a surrogate. How can you have a child with a woman born through a surrogate? What does that mean? Oh, wait, you can implement a zygote into another woman's uterus, can't you? So, like, wait, her eggs were put in another woman? Oh, wait. Oh, so that would make them, yeah, so her eggs and Elon Musk's sperm were combined, and then that was put in another woman. Do you think he has, like some crazy world repopulation plan with just all of his children? Announcement. I've decided to end my own life. Thanks, Dan Henschel. Is this a meme or is...
I love to go outside because outside is the opposite of inside. Outside has grass.
Okay. It turns out that Elon Musk did, in fact, not pull out of Ashley St. Clair. And end scene. The pull-out method. Speaking personally, I obviously prefer the pull-in method. Oh, God. Jesus. Do you think the women might play a role in that so they can get money from him since he's rich? Yeah, 100%, of course. That's probably the goal. That'd be my understanding. Rather notably, after reports of a Russo-U.S. summit in Saudi Arabia next week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said to reporters that Ukrainian officials have yet to receive an invitation to such an event. Is Ukraine going to be cut out of their own peace talks? He 100% is a breeding kink. How does an IVF motherfucker have a breeding kink? Usually breeding kinks require you to come in somebody, not jerk off into a test tube. He doesn't have enough time, so he goes into the kink light route. How do we know it's through IVF? What's the source? Grok said it, dude. Why did this fucking retard tweet this? Ashley St. Clair plotted for half a decade to ensnare Elon Musk. Whoa. Why did this fucking loser tweet this? God, he's so cringe. The White House. Donald J. Trump, he who saves his country, does not violate any law. Do conservatives not realize ever? I'm so curious. Like, do you guys not realize you sound like the bad guy in every single movie ever? Like, could you just close your eyes and imagine any good guy being like, he who saves his country does not violate any law? I guess unless you're already standing up to, like, a dictator. But, like, what the fuck? Jesus. Even Asmongold said this tweet was worrying. Did he? What does it take for conservatives to ever reach this point?
Very well. They're coming. Now we'll see how these Russians deal with a crack SS division.
Hans?
Have courage, my friend.
Yeah. Hans, I've just noticed something.
These communists are all cowards.
Have you looked at our caps recently?
Our caps?
The badges on our caps. Have you looked at them?
What? No. A bit?
They've got skulls on them. Have you noticed that our caps have actually got little pictures of skulls on them?
I don't,
Hans, are we the baddies?
Let's see. We should be able to hold them at this point here, at least for a few hours.
Why skulls, though?
What?
Why skulls?
Well, maybe they're the skulls of our enemies.
Maybe. But is that how it comes across? I mean, it doesn't say next to the skull, you know, yeah, we killed him, but trust us, this guy was horrid.
Oh yeah, like the pike picture. How often do you see the good guys putting people on pikes? Well, maybe the guy on the pike was a really, really, really bad guy.
Well, no, but...
I mean, what do skulls make you think of? Death, cannibals, beheading, pirates.
Pirates are fun.
I didn't say we weren't fun, but fun or not, pirates are still the baddies. I just can't think of anything good about a skull.
What about pure Aryan skull shape?
Even that is more usually depicted with the skin still on. Whereas the Allies...
Oh, you haven't been listening to Allied propaganda. Of course they're going to say we're the bad guys.
But they didn't get to design our uniforms. And their symbols are all, you know, quite nice. Stars, stripes, lions, sickles.
What's so good about a sickle?
Well, nothing. And obviously, if there's one thing we've learned in the last 1,000 miles of retreat, is that Russian agriculture is in dire need of mechanization.
Tell me about it.
But you've got to say, it's better than a skull. I mean, I really can't think of anything worse as a symbol than a skull.
A rat's anus?
Yeah, and if we were fighting an army marching under the banner of a rat's anus, I'd probably be a lot less worried, Hans.
Okay. So...
True. What? What am I reading here? Asians will always be incapable of understanding European music. It will forever be foreign to them, no matter how hard they try. They do absurd LARPing because they are dumb, inveterate strivers who must collect all the status like Pokemon. It's like getting a degree from Harvard. Okay, at least that only had 6.9 thousand likes. Why does he always look so angry? He's locked in. Can he actually play the difficult part, though? No, of course not. He sounds like a beginner piano player, like he took lessons through high school, maybe? Would be my guess. What's wrong with the mic recording this? I don't know, it just sounds like a phone mic or something. And this, I wonder if this is in a practice room. Looking at the walls, I can't tell. Play it? I don't know any of this fucking song. What is this, for Elise? My piano's not even on. I literally have no idea. I don't know where the on button is. Okay, let me break this one out. Here you go. That's all I got. I have no idea. I don't know this fucking song. Is there a hard part to For Elite? I don't even fucking remember. Fuck these. It's like 2 songs that everybody likes. What is it? It's not that. It's not that. It's not. Fuck, man. I don't even fucking know what the chords are. Oh, it's minor. It's not that. Definitely not that. Oh, it's going to be functional harmony, right? So... It's just. I don't fucking know. No. It's not hard. It wouldn't be hard to figure this out. Probably the first movement. It's all functional. That YouTube channel is fake. Beethoven has been dead for a long time. There's no way he could have made a channel. Really? Doge told me he was still getting Social Security payments. Look at this account's name. Hussafel Stone or Baron von Rittenhouse? Based. Okay.
There's Donald Trump. White supremacy is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration and our own legislative body.
And why do I support H.R. 40?
Democrats decided now it's time to ban slavery reparations. Trump's trying to do. Who are these like Congress people or who are these people? Oh my God, there's just. I'm not going to say anything.
It's healing. When the truth comes out about the nation, it heals. When there's reparation, when there's been repair for the atrocities of slaveries and all of the ills that happened, this is the solution.
This is the Black Caucus.
We're going to bring this bill to the floor and we'll be able to show who really cares about this country. I'm so proud of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Okay, I'm not allowed to do voice matching, am I? Does she sound like Whoopi Goldberg? Or is this like a New Yorker accent or some bullshit? And I just...
And our willingness to stand up in this bill to the floor and we'll be able to show who really cares about this country. I'm so proud of the Congressional Black Caucus and our willingness to stand up in
Not
a
here.
time where Black erasure,
A
Latino
little bit.
erasure, Native American erasure.
Absolutely. I need like old Whoopi Goldberg though. With the... I can't spell. Wait, Whoopi Goldberg? Wait, is she Jewish?
Something to share with this group. You in the Oscars.
Yeah, Whoopi, you kept it a secret.
Do you want us to read us all online?
Come on. We were presenting at the Oscars.
Okay, her voice is deeper. It doesn't count.
Asian American erasure, LGBTQ erasure is the agenda du jour.
It took us 346 years to get from 1619 to 1965 when we had our voting rights fully.
Okay, I don't care about this. She changed her name and so people in Hollywood would think she's Jewish. Is that actually true? Because if so, based. I'm sorry this needs to be said. I don't care if you save the world, make billions, and are the smartest person on the planet. If you have children with multiple people, do not have the time to raise them and be a full part of their life, you're a piece of shit, period. Wow. Uh-oh. Louis C.K. I feel like he's got some Trumple fans. Oh, no. That's not Louis C.K. Oh, true, because it says not Louis C.K. My bad. Sometimes I still see the verified mark and I think, oh, that's a real account. Okay, a few more videos left. What do we got? This is better than watching a movie in theaters. I bet this cat was bullying those poor dogs. That's what I bet. This cat is a menace. He bullies the neighborhood. I bet he does. And the dog's just trying to clean up his act. Yeah, motherfucker's probably strung out on catnip.
I see you didn't forget your old man's birthday. I know I haven't made the best decisions in life, but trust me, when I get out...
How racist is this skit? Because I already have an idea of where this joke is going. I'm not going to look at chat. Should I say it? Well, now if I say it and then it doesn't go there, then I'm the racist. Is the child not going to say their name and see if the dad knows it? That's my guess. Let's find out. I'm the master of racism. What can I say? I've spent my time in the racist gulags. I've learned a thing or two, okay? It's going to be an Asian kid. Oh, never mind. Oh, shit.
Papá, te extraño. Hijo, ¿cómo estás?
Okay. Good ending. Usually these don't have the best ending. That was decent. All right. Wow, I just searched medical research papers, and it turns out that birth control meds triple the risk of suicide. I never heard that before you posted. Oh, Ashley. There was a time when conservative women were, like, obsessed with how evil, like, birth control pills are. So it's probably has more to do with that than any breeder shit, but... Cats. Okay, I don't want to ruin the illusion for you, but 99% of epic cat videos are usually just dogs having high social intelligence and cats being autistically fucking evil. Like, we can't hear any of the sound, but, like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen, like, a murderous dog before. This is not what a murderous dog does not, like, do this. A murderous dog, and also, by the way, real life advice, because this is horrifying, and you should be aware of this if you have your own animals. A murderous dog will look at your dog, and he will walk up to your dog or animal, and he won't stop and growl at it. He will just walk up to him, and he will latch onto his throat, and he will kill him in like 1 second. That's what dogs do when they're trying to kill shit. Like, these dogs just look like they were running around barking. I don't know. I mean, maybe they get hurt if they started fighting or whatever. But this is not like 4 dogs are trying to bully this poor cat and they want to murder him and blah, blah, blah. Like, I bet this cat was up to no good, bullying shit, and these dogs are just walking around barking. That's my guess. Like, come on. Now, I say 99% because there's that one video of that cat saving the baby. That's base as fuck. Oh, but actually... Oh, this is a really good example. Actually, I'm so glad. This illustrates 2 points. This illustrates both of my points. An awesome cat and what a dog that wants to kill shit looks like. Like, he just walks up and goes for it. And then they do this fucking alligator shit. Damn, look at that cat. The way it hunts this child is fucking insane. Yeah, I feel like dog attacks are like drowning in movies. Where people think that when people are drowning, in movies, when you see people drowning, they're like, save me, I'm drowning, blah, blah, blah. But then in real life, they just like slip under the water and die and you don't notice. You're like, oh, fuck. I feel like in in movies, it seems like dog attacks are like a very prolonged, like, like they're growling and they're very upset at you and But I feel like in real life, when dogs when they want to kill something, they just like walk up to it and just they just like go in on it. You don't have all of this time for them to be like growling and chilling and blah blah blah. They just like fucking go for shit. What is this? Yeah, to be fair, movies need standoffs to be dramatic, and best way to handle this situation. If a dog like this is running at you, chances you are running away faster than him is slim. Speak for yourself. Parkour. Do parkour.
Dog's kind of crazy with it. Hey, fool. What are you wooing at me, fool? Don't growl at me. I gotta watch you.
Oh my god, he's the dog whisperer.
Fool, you're gonna bite someone. I don't know whose dog you are. You woo. Motherfucker. This fool crazy. I'm watching you, fool. You're gonna bite a fucking child.
Damn.
Whose dog is this? Yelling at me. Hey, come on. Weirdo.
Got him. Bully the fuck out of him. German Shepherd saves 6-year-old from being attacked by another dog. Oh shit. Oh my god. Do you think this dog has like super training or some shit? Damn. Are you legally allowed to shoot a dog in some states if it's trying to kill you? No, generally you just have to lay there and be eaten by it. And attacking the dog is illegal. How often do you see cats bully random dogs? I feel like, I don't know why. It's just a feeling I have. Is I feel like cats don't have like limiters. Like cats are either claws in or claws out, and then that's it. Otherwise, they're always at like maximum strength. But I feel like dogs have like a huge range of how powerful they will act, depending. Like they feel so much more force appropriate, I guess. I don't know. Like I've seen we've had huge dogs. I've watched huge dogs play with small cats, and they're always like super gentle unless they're trying to kill the cat. Yeah, whereas cats are like always crashing out. I don't know why. My cat was in trouble and called her big brother for backup. Oh my god, bro. You know it took a while for him to get through. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lottie coming true. Why are we wasting time on cat videos, guys? Cheetah introduces a photographer to her little ones. Why do they sound like that? Does she have cancer? What's the fastest way to kill a dog if you don't care about being humane? Probably a nuclear bomb? Oh my god, look at them all.
I'm joined now by Congressman. I'm joined now by Senator Bernie Sanders. Thanks for taking.
You know why that dog wanted to kill that last kid? Just instinct? I have no idea, bro. Some dogs got that killer mindset. They're just out for blood. Okay, I was linked both of these. This is 7 hours old. This is, I guess I should, fuck it. Jesus. This is 2 days old. Okay.
I'm joined now by Senator Bernie Sanders. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure.
So we're in the aftermath of an election that was largely predicated on this idea that Trump.
Any race in particular? I'm super biased. I don't know. I've seen, all my worst experiences have been with small dogs, and I've been around a decent number of like pits and pit mixes, and I've never seen them be like crazy. So I don't know. Maybe I've just had good luck with pits. Pit bulls, pit dogs. What the fuck do you call them?
Trump would be lowering costs for Americans. This was the high grocery cost election. Now Trump and Elon have come in, taken an axe to the federal government through the Doge Commission. Is what they're doing lowering costs?
No, of course it's not, but let's back up just for a little bit and see where we are. Because, Brian, we are in literally an unprecedented moment in modern American history. When we look at Mr. Musk, everybody has got to understand this is the wealthiest guy in the world right now, worth over $400 billion. You talk about Trump's getting elected and inaugurated. Musk put.
Wait.
You talk about Trump's getting elected. Got to understand this is the wealthiest guy in the world right now, worth over $400 billion. You talk about Trump's getting elected and inaugurated. Musk put over $270 million into Trump's campaign, and guess what? He's now the most important person in government. What does that sound like? Does it sound like a democracy, a government of the people, by the people, or for the people, or is it really an oligarchy doing the bidding of the very richest people? Right, that's number one. Number two, what concerns me very much is the move toward authoritarianism in this country. You have Trump circumventing and bypassing Congress, deciding, hey, doesn't matter what Congress did. Congress put money into this project. I'm going to do away with it. I don't want to spend that money. It's gone. And that means programs for low-income, working-class people going to be gone. Fortunately, the courts are beginning to put a stop to what he's doing. But that is what he wants to do. Well, you don't have a democracy if you circumvent the legislative body. And then he's going after the courts. You heard J.D. Vance saying, well, the courts don't have a right to stop what the president is doing. No, really? I mean, that's what 100 plus years of American jurisprudence has been about. So you got oligarchy, and then you have this movement toward authoritarianism. Now, to answer your question, what is the goal? What is the end goal here? The end goal of oligarchy is to make the richest people who are already phenomenally rich even richer. So how do you do that? Well, you do that through massive tax breaks.
I just don't like the Marxist analysis, the very class-oriented. I feel like there is more. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like ideology and other things are more at play here than just rich make richer. I do agree that there's like a lot of deregulation hopes, but I don't know if the deregulation hopes are just because they want to be more like the crypto guys, for instance, want to be deregulated to make more money, or I think there's a strong ideological component to all of this as well. That's my feeling.
Well, where do you get the money to provide trillions of dollars in tax breaks? You cut programs that working people need. Just today, the House brought forth their budget reconciliation bill, an outline of it, talking about huge tax breaks. The very richest people, while they're cutting Medicaid very significantly, and I suspect other programs as well. So you're asking me, are they going to cut costs for working people? No, they're not. They're going to give tax breaks to the rich, and they're going to make massive cuts in programs that working families desperately need.
Well, to that point, Senator, the Republicans just released their budget plan, and they're seeking a $4 trillion increase in the debt.
But isn't the ideological component just a tool to get more power for the rich? No, I feel like the wealth was a tool to get more power for the ideological component. That's what it feels like to me. But
limit, and that would offset $4.5 trillion in tax cuts.
Brian, could that possibly be true? The Republicans who've been telling us for years what a big concern it is that we have a large national debt. They want to increase the national debt by $4 trillion, right? And obviously they want to do that to feed the hungry and to house the homeless and to make sure that everybody has health care, right? Well, maybe not. I mean, it is so ugly and so ridiculous. What they want to do is to increase the national debt. They want to cut Medicaid and other desperately needed programs for working people to do what? To give massive tax breaks primarily to the wealthy and large corporations. That's what this whole thing is about. Just keep your eyes on the prize. That's what it's about.
Well, you know, a lot of the branding, a lot of the messaging that Republicans have been putting forward is that they're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. And so they immediately go after USAID. They immediately go after the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And so what does it say that while they're nickel and diming these programs, which, by the way, as far as the CFPB is concerned, that's a program that costs $800 million a year, return $21 billion to consumers who've been ripped off by predatory banks. You look at USAID, a half of...
Guess I can never pull up the suit BTC has. Actually, the lapels are 1 millimeter too short. The shoulders are about 15 this is called inline stitching, and the embroidery is a bit too flaturbulent, and then the collar is totally inappropriate as well. So you're just, and the cuffs are, yeah, not the proper. They should be Italian cuffs and they're French. So
1% of the budget delivers essential programs like clean water, food for refugees, HIV prevention, and helps us with soft power around the world. And so you have these massive benefits for a fraction of the cost. And that's to nickel and dime us out of those programs. But when you're looking to pass tax cuts, that would cost us $4.5 trillion the cost, HIV prevention, and helps us with soft power around the world. And so you have these massive benefits for a fraction of the cost. And that's to nickel and dime us out of those programs. But when you're looking to pass tax cuts, that would cost us $4.5 trillion. Apparently that's totally fine.
I think as a nation, we've got to take a deep breath. I think you framed the question exactly right. Look, is there waste in every government program? Yeah, there is. Is there waste in every corporation? Yeah, there is. But what they will do is use the issue of waste to kind of destroy entire programs. In terms of USAID, you make very important points. This is a program which is keeping hungry children alive, treating people who have HIV and other preventable diseases. And in terms of quote-unquote soft power, what it means is that all over the world, people say, thank you, Americans. Thank you for keeping us alive, for feeding our children, for giving us some housing. And that is a positive for us in terms of dealing with global issues all over the world, winning support from people. Going after the Consumer Financial CFP, I always get the initials wrong.
Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB.
All right, this is something that protects consumers from predatory banks. And going after that will just make it easier for banks and large corporations to rip us off. So to answer your question, this is exactly what is going on. When there are programs that help desperate people, we kill them. When there are programs that help large corporations and big banks, those are the programs Republicans will support.
So then what's your message to Trump supporters who voted in this election because they believed, after listening to Trump, that it was a referendum on high prices, on the cost of goods, and yet instead of lifting a finger to do anything to mitigate the cost of high prices, they're instead focused on stripping programs to give them the pretense of cutting waste while at the same time delivering yet another handout to millionaires and billionaires?
What I would say to Trump supporters are two things. Focus not on what Trump says, but what he does. And what he's going to do is cut programs that you and your families need. Do you really think it's appropriate to cut Medicaid substantially? Those are families, your families, may not be able to get the health care that they need. Your mother may not be able to get into the nursing home that she has to get into because Medicaid pays a substantial part of that. We're going to do away with aid to students who want to go to college. Your kids are going to have to go more deeply into debt when we cut back on higher education.
Jeez, I feel like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know I don't even know how we would prove whose analysis is more on here, but
that she has to get into because Medicaid pays.
Like he's saying, would these voters approve cuts in these things? Well, when they're cutting them, the first thing they're looking to cut is through ways that are like ideologically compatible with the base. Because I think the first the first thing they were trying to cut from, was it Medicaid? Was they were trying to add like work requirements or, weren't they trying to like federalize this or something? Fuck, I'd have to go back and check. But they were trying to make it so they're not going to cut all of it at once. They're just going to start targeting the undesirables, the people that the MAGA people probably wouldn't sympathize with, or that they'd sympathize with them the least, I guess. Work requirements for safety net programs like SNAP and Medicaid, a punitive solution that provides like these are the first steps they're taking. And then when he says like cuts to the Department of Education, at this point, I feel like the signaling to the maggots is always like, yeah, fuck education. It's not about student loan debt. It's about defunding wokeness and defunding the woke, liberal, elitist educational institutions that are brainwashing America and sending everybody to trade school, I guess.
Substantial part of that. We're going to do away with aid to students who want to go to college. Your kids are going to have to go more deeply into debt when we cut back on higher educational programs. So the other thing that I would say is that if you are an honest conservative, you believe in the Constitution of the United States. You do not believe that the richest guy in the history, in modern history, can go around unilaterally cutting programs that were authorized by Congress. So if you're a Trump supporter and you're a working class person, understand that they're going after you. And if you believe in the Constitution and democracy, they're also trying to undermine that.
But Senator, we've seen Trump deploy this strategy before. He did it in 2016, where he came into office on the back of promises that he would make a healthcare plan that was more comprehensive and more affordable, of a jobs boom that never materialized, a manufacturing renaissance that never materialized, of an infrastructure plan that never materialized. And now he's doing the same thing here. And so how do you square that circle, basically, where you have him saying one thing, consistently failing to deliver, and yet the message doesn't seem to get through?
It's just not just failure to deliver. He lies all the time. And this is a whole other problem. And Trump has, I'm not going to say the politicians throughout the ages haven't lied, people lie, but he has taken it to an entirely new level. And part of their strategy is just to lie and lie and lie. You go after USAID, you come up with some crazy, outrageous lies to justify what you're doing.
Right, like they're sending $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza.
I mean, these guys, and Musk amplifies that on Twitter, etc. I think what we have got to do, which the Democratic Party is at the moment incapable of doing, is organizing at the grassroots level. And I'm going to be going around the country trying to do that, trying to get working people and young people, people of color, just the majority of the people to stand up and say, you know what? When 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, when 85 million people have no health insurance, you do not need to give tax breaks to billionaires and cut programs that working families desperately need. Let's focus on the needs of workers. What do we need to do? We need to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. You think Trump and the Republicans are going to do that? Ain't going to do that. We need to make it easy for workers to join unions. You think Trump and the Republicans are going to do that? No, they've actually neutered the national...
I don't know if ordinary citizens care about this shit. Where are the special elections in Florida being held? What's like the closest one to Miami? Somebody tell me in chat.
Labor Relations Board, which will make it harder for workers to get their union victory certified. Do you think Trump is going to do anything real about lowering the cost of prescription drugs? I doubt it very much. So what we have got to do is focus on the needs of working people. What are they? Healthcare system is broken. Childcare system is broken. Housing crisis of enormous consequence. Climate change is threatening the entire planet.
Florida's 6th congressional district. Jesus, that's fucking... That looks like it's way the fuck up there. What the fuck?
Planet. And we can create a whole lot of jobs moving to sustainable energy. Stay focused on what is important to working people, expose the hypocrisy of Trump. I think that's kind of what we got to do.
There are those who would say that Democrats did focus on those issues in the lead up to this past election cycle, that you had people talking about healthcare, reproductive rights.
Do you think that Bernie's economically literate? I disagree with his economic ideas, but he has like a general foundation of economic knowledge. Like when he speaks, he seems to at least understand what he's saying. Yeah.
Workers' rights, and that it wasn't enough to overcome the messaging that was coming out of the right. And so how do you contend with that?
I agree. I don't think people were talking about healthcare very much at all. I mean, what they were saying is, we will defend the Affordable Care Act, right? Against cuts. Republicans will want to cut it. We will defend it. Fine. That's good. Do you think that's enough? The current healthcare system is broken. It is a disaster. We're spending twice as much per person on healthcare any other nation. 85 million uninsured. 60,000 people a year dying because they don't get to a doctor.
Yeah.
We pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. It's not enough to defend the Affordable Care Act. We need to do what every other nation on earth does. Guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right. That's why I strongly support Medicare for all. But what the Democrats have got to do is come up with a strong progressive agenda. Not only do we have 800,000 people who are homeless, you know what else we got? Millions of people spending 40, 50, 60% of their limited incomes on housing. What about a massive housing program, putting people to work, good union jobs, lowering the cost of housing? You got to think big, not small. To Trump's credit, I mean, he lies all the time, etc. He thinks big.
Yeah.
Democrats think incrementally. Maybe in 18 years, we will have accomplished this. Not good enough.
To that exact point, in 2016, you mobilized a massive movement around the country.
I mean, he lies program, putting people to work, good union jobs, lowering the cost of housing. You got to think big, not small. To Trump's credit, I mean, he lies all the time, etc. He thinks big.
Yeah.
Democrats think incrementally. Maybe in 18 years, we will have accomplished this. Not good enough.
I feel like that's not a fair comparison because it seems like all the conservatives want to do is destroy. Like, it's easier. Like, I don't know if I could learn in a lifetime how to build, like the Taj Mahal or like the Sistine Chapel. I don't know if I could learn to build this and do this on my own as an individual person, given like my entire life. I doubt I could, but I bet I could learn in probably a day, less than a week, how to destroy the entire thing easily, right? Given the right tools, of course. So, I mean, it's easier when you're a Republican and you want to defund everything and destroy everything and lower taxes and get rid of as much of the government as possible. Yeah, that's an easier, simpler message than, well, we want to implement these programs, but we have to make sure that they're checked for waste, fraud, and abuse, and then we have to make sure that they're effective, and then we've got to make sure that they're funded correctly. And like, yeah, no shit.
To that exact point, in 2016, you mobilized a massive movement around the country among grassroots Democrats. We've since lost that same vigor in the party, and in fact, we've seen an exodus of folks out of the Democratic Party. And so, looking forward in terms of how to rebuild the brand, given the success that you've had at mobilizing folks on the grassroots level, what advice would you give moving forward to get people excited about the party and not running?
It ain't complicated.
Not running away from the brand anymore.
You got to stand for something. Bottom line, you got to be honest and stand for something. Are you prepared to take on the billionaire class, who have unprecedented levels of wealth and power right now, and fight for the working class of the country? Democrats, by and large, with some exceptions, are not prepared to do that. And we need people, working class people, young people, to come in and say, you know what? This is the richest country in the history of the world. You got to back up for a minute. Take a deep breath. We talk about throwing more people off of health insurance when we're the only major country not to guarantee health care to all people. Really? Are we a poor country? Are we Haiti? I don't think so. We're the richest country in the history of the world.
How about Democrats destroy some conservative institutions and policies? Like, what do you mean? Conservatives get rich off of and succeed off of like democratic things. Like, think about who's running shit right now. Fucking Donald Trump. Where did Donald Trump make most of his fucking money? He did it in, I don't know, was The Apprentice, does that count as Hollywood? Liberal media and entertainment, right? I mean, I feel like reality TV show and all this shit is all like Hollywood and liberals and blah, 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 right? Trump made his money off of being an entertainer in TV. These are institutions built by liberals. What did Elon Musk make his money doing? Coming to the United States and working for government contracts, working in green energy for Tesla, right? So, I mean, like, this is where these guys made like a huge share of their wealth. Like, I don't even like look at all the Republican presidents. Like, where are these? They're not going to. Is it Hillsdale College? What's like the conservative Catholic college? Like, they're going to fucking Yale and Harvard and all that shit. Like, what do you even attack? You know?
You tell me, why can't we guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Why can't we have the best educational system in the world from childcare all the way through graduate school? You think we can't afford to do that? We can. Why aren't we leading the world in combating climate change and creating jobs doing that? Think we can't do that? We can. Bottom line of all of this is you're looking at enormous power and wealth in the hands of a small number of people who could care less about working class people, not on their agenda. For some reason, which frankly I cannot understand, they suffer from the addiction, very serious problem, of greed. You got $50 billion, ain't enough. We're gonna cut Social Security so I can get a tax break and maybe get $55 billion. That's the world we are living in. Have Democrats made that clear? No. Do we have to make it clear? Yes. Can we rally the American people, conservatives, progressives, around that approach? I think we can.
Why do you think it's so difficult to convince working class Americans that the billionaire class is not interested in them? And
if conservatives can attack institutions with made-up charges, do that to Fox News and Twitter. But, like, how? Like, even when you have real charges against, like, Fox News and Twitter, nobody gives a fuck. Like, they make up shit from the Twitter files, so that doesn't matter. Nobody talks about the Dominion lawsuit, so that doesn't matter. Like, what do you even say or do, you know?
and that their economic policies aren't actually redounding to their benefit. If you look back to the Reagan days of trickle down, 1980 is really when this plan was implemented, and that is when income inequality exploded in this country. I'll put a graph right here on the screen to overlay over on top of this video to give an indication of what that graph looks like. But since those days, we have seen income inequality explode, and yet they continuously, you have a Republican base that continuously falls for this trap of thinking that so long as we continue to rig the rules in the favor of the millionaire and billionaire class, that it will somehow redound to the benefit of the working class. And all the while, income inequality continues to explode in this country, but we continue to perpetuate this cycle.
All right, but I don't quite agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but I think you're letting the Democrats get off a little bit easy here. I think what is going on is not that people really believe, Trump has a lot of fervent supporters, I know that, but I don't think there's overwhelming support for the Republican ideology of giving tax breaks to billionaires and cutting Medicaid. But I think what has happened is people looked at the Democratic parties and they say, you've been talking for years, what did you do?
Yeah.
You had Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton developed these terrible trade agreements that led to the shutting down.
Oh yeah, because Bernie hates NAFTA and all that.
Tens of thousands of factories in America. You had Obama. Well, Obama bailed out the banks, didn't he? Did he really protect?
Oh, and they hate the TARP bailouts. They think that we should just let our entire banking system fucking collapse, and then seen what came up afterwards.
Working class people to the degree that he should have. No, he did not. And I think in Biden you had actually the most progressive president, but not doing all that had to be done by.
Why does Bernie hate NAFTA? Because Bernie is significantly to the left on econ, and Bernie would actually agree with some kind of protectionism or populism when it comes to economic policy. So, Bernie was on the other side of the H-1B issue, right, as well, right? He didn't like H-1Bs. Bernie would prefer protectionist policies for your domestic industries, so protecting trade, not free trading with countries who's not paying their workers and stuff like that. He wouldn't be like a big globalist free trade guy. In fact, my guess is if you Google Bernie Sanders. Fuck it, I'll make a prediction here. He probably does. If you Google Bernie Sanders IMF, he's probably going to be talking about how the IMF uses loans and stuff to take advantage of and destroy third world countries. Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar lead call for World Bank IMF debt cancellation. Yeah, these people will tend to have these buckets of beliefs. I think. To be fair, I couldn't judge him just from this one statement. I'd have to go and find something else.
By any means. So I think people, it's not so much an attraction to Republican ideology as saying, you know, Democrats, really, you say these things, but you don't do it. So you get back to the bottom line here. You need a Democratic Party that actually stands for the working class, not just rhetorically, but in reality. That means taking on the big money interests and fighting for working families and fighting for an agenda which will improve life for working families.
Practically speaking, though, do you have any concern that by going after these interests, we've seen how when Republicans and Trump embrace them, all these people heap money onto him, heap attention onto him, and so you have, for example, all of these tech billionaires. Once they recognize that he would be better for them, well, they threw their support.
Right. These were the great liberals of a few years ago, right?
Right, but it stacks the.
So dead wrong. Bernie doesn't like NAFTA because of offshoring. Yeah, you're repeating what I just said. He's like not pro like free trade. Yes. When you want to keep every single industry in the United States, when you don't want to export any of your supply chains to any other country ever, sometimes they use excuses like, well, that's slave labor over there, whatever. Yes, that's being anti-free trade. Yes.
Deck against Democrats in such a way that they're able to then rig the rules in Trump's favor because he would be more favorable to him.
Let me look at it a little bit differently here. And that is, at the heart of everything, is a very, very corrupt campaign finance system.
Yeah.
Okay? And to be honest with you, I don't know how you change things fundamentally when you have people like Musk, not just Musk, Musk himself contributed, what was it, $270 million?
Yeah.
One person. You know, I ran for president of the United States. We raised hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what the average contribution was? In one case, it was $27. You know, millions of people contributing a little bit. When you are representing big money interests, you don't have to worry about small donors. You got to bring 10 people into the room. You can raise $1 billion, $2 billion. That's it. And for these guys, it's a good investment. So bottom line is, on that, you got to get rid of the Citizens United. It has got to be one of the major priorities of any serious political person. Get rid of that. Billionaires should not be allowed to buy elections.
And finally, Senator, if you had one message to Democrats right now, I mean, look, the 2026 election cycle started January 21st, 2025. If you have a message to your colleagues in the Senate, the Democratic House Caucus, what would you say moving forward to put us in the best position to be successful?
You've got to understand the strategy of the last many years has failed. All right? Years ago, the white working class deserted the Democrats. More recently, the Latino working class deserted the Democrats. Some black, the strongest supporters are also deserting the Democratic Party. And you've got to understand why that is the case. And so what I would say to my Democratic colleagues is you got to break with the past. You got to stop worrying about the campaign contributions. They will come in small donations if you stand tall. You need to have the courage to address the crisis of oligarchy in America. Take these people on. And if you're clear in your message and you're willing to fight for working people will support you.
Senator Sanders, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Wait, is this original art? Because I will steal this from my fucking Twitter so fast. Did this guy draw this or was this posted somewhere else on the internet? This is fucking epic. Holy shit. Holy fuck. At Zezvaz. Oh no, fuck. I doubt it's him. Why can't you guys think of shit like this? It's kind of old. It's a Portuguese comic? Well, fuck me then.
Jamie Raskin, thanks so much for joining me.
It's great to have you in D.C.
Oh, thanks. So right now we're watching as Elon Musk has taken an axe to so much of the federal government and so much of these programs that really do help regular American people. I'm talking about the CFPB, I'm talking about USAID, and of course he's going from one agency to the next. At the same time, we now have seen reporting that, for example, Tesla got a $400 million contract. So really taking away from one hand and handing it to the other on the form of a handout to the very guy who is regulating or who's taking it upon himself to unilaterally cut spending to all of these other agencies. Can you speak about what Elon is doing here by virtue of framing this as some big operation to cut wasteful spending in the government, only to see so much money then go into his own pocket?
Okay, let's start with this. The whole anti-corruption crusade is an absolute fraud. They started by decimating the ranks of the inspectors general. These are the people whose job is actually day in and day out, 365 days a year, to ferret out waste, fraud, and abuse in the departments and the agencies. They can only be fired if the president notifies Congress 30 days in advance and gives a specific rationale for why they're being fired, because you can see...
God, fuck. Like, this is so true and it's so important, but it just sounds so boring to say.
The danger in allowing the president to remove an anti-corruption fighter within each agency or department. They got rid of 17 of them in the first week. I think they just got rid of the 18th because they were mad at that one.
Is there a way you can make the structure of government sound more exciting?
If you were interested in fighting corruption, those are the people you'd be talking to. They're actually doing it day in and day out. They're not trying to take over the computer systems. They've never had to take over the computer systems to do it. They can demand accounting and go through the books. But that completely debunks the claim that it's anti-corruption. What's coming out now is all of the very deep conflicts of interest that apply to Elon Musk with almost every federal agency or department that they've dismantled or whose internal computer machinery they've seized. Take the ones you mentioned. The CFPB has dozens and dozens of complaints from consumers about financial practices of Tesla. Well, what happens when Elon Musk takes it over? They just disappear. That's gone. The National Labor Relations Board, I think you mentioned, lots of complaints and actions against Tesla for violating the rights of the workers at his companies in violation of the National Labor Relations Act. So you go right down the line, but of course, the most glaring conflict of interest of all is that he is a government contractor himself who collects billions of dollars from the U.S. government. And so then he, claims he finds some objectionable video that somebody produced in video in Peru who also had a grant from the federal government or something like that, and he's talking about $10,000 or something. It's a joke. This guy is taking us for a ride, and like all authoritarian and fascist movements around the world in history, corruption is at the heart of it. It's all about allowing people who have lots of wealth and power to seize ever greater parts of the national wealth.
How is this not a red line for these folks who, maybe in good faith at some point, have wanted to root out waste, fraud, and abuse, have wanted to limit federal spending, only to then see this guy, again, to your exact point, take away programs that thousands of dollars here and there, only to heap millions of dollars worth of programs onto himself?
No, I mean, with Trump and Musk, you're in for $1, you're in for $1 trillion. I mean, you're just going to go with whatever they tell you to say. And what's so shocking and shameful...
Is the camera moving? I think he has one very wide shot set up, and then he does a digital shaky cam on each of these two guys' profile. Interesting choice.
About the whole thing is that I've got colleagues who run the oversight committee of the House of Representatives. If they thought there was some waste, fraud, or abuse, they've got the subpoena power. They can have anybody come in and talk about it. They don't even bring Elon Musk in to talk about it. They've just created this monstrous fourth branch of government. He can do whatever he wants. He goes way beyond presidential power. The president could not get away with completely distorting congressional purposes and setting up federal agencies. The president could not abolish a federal agency or department set up by Congress or impound the money that we've allocated for one purpose and use it for some other purpose.
Okay, so I want to dig into that because we know that the president can't abolish entire agencies. We know that the president can't impound money that was being rightfully allocated by Congress, and yet what we're seeing right now is these agencies, by virtue of the firings, by virtue of getting starved by funding, they are de facto being shut down. And so there is that delta right here that we're dealing with between they can't do this and they're doing it right now in real time. Yeah. So where does that put us? Do these things have to be litigated in the court?
Yes.
And in real, while that's being done, the agencies are basically atrophying away because folks are being told not to return. People are assuming that they're fired. Their offices are being cleared out. And so just by virtue of just time passing, the agencies are losing their potency and their legitimacy.
The federal workers need to stay in very close touch with their unions and with the litigation that's going on, because we are winning in almost every case. In more than a dozen cases, there have been TROs, temporary restraining orders, NPIs, preliminary injunctions issued against the Trump administration saying, no, you don't have power to seize the financial data of 300 million Americans at the Department of the Treasury and give it back. No, you don't have a power to sack 90% of the workforce at USAID and violate all the contracts you have and stop the flow of federal money that we've already appropriated and that's already been programmed. So we've got to stay on all of the cases in Congress. The Democrats were going to be filing amicus briefs in all these cases at the appellate level, and some of them we're going to even be trying to file at the district level to get our voices heard there. But we need to be supporting the lawyers and the people who are willing to take Trump to court because we are winning, and that's going to be a really important part of filling that gap you talk about between what the rule of law says and then what's actually happening, because we're dealing with a band of incorrigible, lawless plutocrats who think that they can just control the whole U.S. government. And I keep thinking about what Steve Bannon said about Elon Musk. He said he's a truly evil individual, and he's part of this.
Steve Bannon. To say somebody is a truly harmful individual is really saying something.
Well, he knows that whole crowd, so he knows what he's talking about, and so that's quite a statement. But in the Silicon Valley, in that network of right-wing billionaire libertarian turned authoritarians, they are very open about the fact that they think that democracy is obsolete. We're living in a post-constitutional America. The Constitution no longer fits. And they are trying to get everybody ready for a techno-state monarchy. And in their writings about it, they suggest that seizure of the control of technology and computers and financial payments is the essence to moving from one form of government to another. So we're really talking about people who would like to abolish American constitutional institutions and representative democracy and the rights and freedoms of the people. Their guy Yarvin, who's their big intellectual hero, has said people have got to overcome their fear of the word dictator. He says a dictator is basically just like a corporate CEO. They're all dictators in their businesses, and so we need a dictator that is the corporation that's the United States of America. And obviously they have Elon Musk in mind because he could never run for president. He wasn't born in the United States of America. He's had citizenship in 3 different countries. He was actually an undocumented immigrant here for many months before he got work authorization for all the right-wingers out there who want to kick all the undocumented people of the country out, although that might be an argument in their favor. I don't know. But in any event, these people are talking about supplanting our system of constitutional democracy with a completely different kind of government controlled by dictatorship.
for somebody like you who has your life has been steeped in the history and the importance of following the Constitution, which, by the way, is something that Republicans used to beat their chest about before suddenly it became inconvenient.
They never mention it anymore.
Don't talk about it anymore. But for somebody like you who is in this position, who's found himself in this position, you like to quote Tom Paine.
Yes.
Times have found us. What is it like to see all of this unfolding? I'm sure that when you ran for office, it wasn't to try and push away a budding autocrat, and certainly not to be able to defend the very concept of democracy in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I served as the majority whip in the Maryland State Senate, and there it was the opposite of the situation I'm in now. The Democrats had control of the state Senate, the state House, and the governorship, and we got incredible stuff done for our people and made extraordinary economic and social progress for the people of Maryland. And we abolished the death penalty, we decriminalized marijuana, we did medical marijuana for people suffering from multiple sclerosis and cystic fibrosis and serious diseases. We passed the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact Plan to take aim at the Electoral College, which is an accident waiting to happen every 4 years and just deliberately, structurally frustrates popular democracy in the country. So anyway, we were getting stuff done. I mean, to me, it was exhilarating to see how politics could help people's lives and make things happen in a good way. And then I got elected the same night as Donald Trump, and our political fortunes have been...
Man, if Donald Trump's doing all this bullshit, why can't he at least just fucking do the weed legalization shit? Like, at least do something, no? Damn.
Intertwined ever since. And but
right, got a Harry Potter, Lord Voldemort like thing going on.
Well, I feel fortunate that I get to wake up every day and go and fight for everything that I believe in, and to fight for the common good, and to fight for healthcare for the people, to fight for the great federal workers who are air traffic controllers and drug and safety inspectors at the FDA and research scientists at the NIH and all the people, the contractors and the universities whose work is related to that. I feel very fortunate to be in a role where I can do that, but I am convinced and I am determined that we get through this nightmare and we defeat authoritarianism in America, and then help to defeat the autocrats and the plutocrats and the theocrats all over the world who are violating human rights and feel as if now suddenly they're very much in league with the government of the United States of America.
To that exact point, I know a lot of folks who are watching this right now they have a lot of worry, concern, anxiety, and fear about the prospect of what Republicans want to do, kind of bearing itself out, them being successful at being able to undermine democracy. And they want to see something done. They want to know that there is a plan. They want to know that our elected officials will serve as a strong enough bulwark against the worst excesses of the executive branch. So can you go over what you and some of your colleagues in the House are doing right now as kind of a plan to be able to push back?
Yes. Well, I'm in charge of the legal strategy, which is just a small part of a broader strategy. My plan is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We're going to defend them wherever we can. That means in court, we're going to be filing amicus briefs. There are now more than 75 cases around the country. We're not going to be able to do all of them, but we are monitoring all of them closely, and we're involved with a select group of them right now, which go right to the question of congressional power and the constitutional rights of the people. And we are going to be filing amicus briefs. In a couple cases, we might try to intervene, become a party. And there's even one particular scenario where we could sue on our own behalf. And that is, we learned yesterday from the Department of Justice that they will no longer defend the members of federal boards like National Labor Relations Board, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Securities and Exchange Commission. All of the people who serve on those boards, and they're usually half Democrats, half Republicans by statute, all of them are able to serve for the period of their term. It might be 8 years, it might be 6 years, 4 years, whatever, and cannot be fired for political reasons. They can only be fired for some kind of cause, for corruption or malfeasance, some kind of offense against government. Okay, so that's been the law since the New Deal. There's a Supreme Court decision called Humphrey's Executor, which stands for the principle that it's okay for Congress to set it up like that, to have terms that go from the Trump administration to the Biden administration.
The Federal Reserve is built that way too, and so this way it insulates some systems that just the country more broadly rely on not being politicized. Right, like being able to fire the Fed chair so that you can help yourself politically by using the Treasury.
Exactly, and the FBI director was like that, a 10-year appointment. Well, look, Donald Trump has taken the position that his scholars call the unitary executive position, which is that anything that is under the executive branch of government, writ broadly, including the independent boards and agencies, are not really independent, but are rather subordinate and vertically reporting to the president. So the president can fire any of them for any reason, for political reasons, for reasons of retaliation, and Congress cannot stand in the way with a statute which says, no, this is a 6-year term, or this is a 4-year term that has gone into your administration. We learned last night, this is really an historic and dreadful statement, but the Department of Justice said they no longer will defend these statutes. So people are going to start...
Destiny, real question. Do you think a guy like Raskin survives an interview with Crowder or Tim Pool? Raskin? This guy is incredibly sharp. He was on the J6 committee. This is a really smart dude, and he knows his shit really well. I would imagine he would. I don't know if he's done adversarial interviews with people like that before, but this is a super sharp dude. I wonder if Shapiro still thinks that the guardrails will hold. Also, must-see plan TLDR. We have no idea what to do other than to wait for them to ignore the court decision into oblivion. I mean, what else? What else can they do, huh?
Dreadful statement, but the Department of Justice said they no longer will defend these statutes. So people are going to start to feel the consequences of this outrageous monarchical and ideological assault on the laws of the people, the programs of the people, right? That's what government is. In a democratic society, government is just us and the people we pay relatively low wages to go and do our work. What's the job of the president? Is it to be a king? Is it to be a monarch? Is it to do whatever he wants with the workforce? Is it to run roughshod over the laws of Congress or impound the money Congress has allocated? No. The core job of the president in Article 2 is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. Take the laws that Congress has passed and implement them. That's the job of the president. So why do we have a civil service with air traffic controllers and at the FAA and food and drug safety experts at the FDA and research scientists at NIH and weather people at the National Weather Service? Why do we have it? To implement the laws, the programs that the Congress has adopted. And who's directing Congress? The people. The people elect the Congress, we write the laws, and then the people that we hire into the civil service implement the laws. And the president is supposed to help that process, to take care of that process, not destroy it.
Well, I'm grateful that we have you fighting on our side, and I know that there's a lot more fight to go. You always manage to find yourself right in the middle of this stuff, whether it's impeachment or now very much in the prelude to a constitutional crisis at the hands of Trump and his executive branch, and a legislative branch that's perfectly content to contract its power, its autonomy over to Trump. So we will, of course, stay on top of everything. Congressman, appreciate you taking the time.
Well, appreciate what you're doing, Brian. The media are the best friends of the people, not the enemies of the people's best friend, and you exemplify that today. So keep up your great work. We'll get through this nightmare, and then at that point, I'm going to drive all the way across the country, and I'll come out and see you in California, which will be safer than flying these days under the Trump FAA.
Jesus. The USPS has unveiled a new fleet of next-gen delivery vehicles designed by Oshkosh Defense. Looks a little goofy, but... So they don't kill kids. Who needs them? All right, I'll be back in the restroom and then we'll read a chapter. Be careful, don't die. 1 sec. Oh, look at my iPad, sorry. Yesterday, Argentina's president, Javier Milei, is that how you pronounce it? Launched a token called $Libra. It was meant to attract investment and support businesses in the country. Instead, what followed was a complete disaster, both for Milei's reputation and his so-called libertarian vision. In this thread, I'll break down how he went from one of the world's promising leaders to just another scammer. Is there a CoffeeZilla video on this? Damn. So far, the dev wallets have made over $140 million in fees by strategically adding and removing liquidity. I don't know what that means even. Who profited? The answer, insiders. He faced massive backlash from the community as pressure mounted. He finally tweeted that he had no prior knowledge of the Libra launch and denied any involvement in the project. Who's... Fuck. I should know who this is, right? Wait, hold on. Oh. Jesus. People are... People are going in on poor Elon. Oh, yeah, connections first, true. Okay. Popular, emotional, cheese, dish, pan, return, spill, cup, tell, command, alternative, option, short, progressive, control, and blab. I think part of this has to do with like financial shit. Like you have your return on investment, your options, your shorts, and your cheese dish. Oh shit, fuck. Tell, command, alternative, or progressive, or control of a company controlling majority. Fuck. Popular, emotional, cheese dish. Fuck. Turn. Option short. Fuck. Control. Just please give me this. Don't do one off. God damn it. Return. Option. No. This is not going to be it. Oh, fuck. That wasn't even... I wasn't even on... Oh, no. Option, short, control, return. It's one of these three doesn't belong. I have no idea. Okay, hold on. Gossip. You can blab something. You can dish out some gossip. Spill the beans. Spill some stuff maybe. Cup. Pan. Popular. Wait, maybe not. Fuck. Alternative, progressive, control. No. Oh my God. Emotional. Popular. Alternative. Progressive. Oh, wait. Are these fucking, I'm not gonna get it. These are gonna be like fucking political parties. Fuck, bro, I don't know. Command, control? Popular, alternative, progressive, pan? Like pan-European pan? No. Baggage, emotional baggage, cup baggage, cup bearer, pan bearer, control, command and control, and bro, fuck me. It's gonna be return or no, it's not even. That's fuck. I don't care. Fuck this. What? What the fuck? Divulge, blab, dish, spill. Oh, tell. Oh, come on. I was thinking more of like a command, like you're telling somebody to do something. Oh my God, that's so cringe. Words on Mac keyboard. Command, control, option, and return. I forgot about the command key. Holy fuck. Words shortened in rock genres. Emotion. Oh, emo. Oh my God. And cake. Cheesecake, cupcake, pancake? I've never known. Fuck this one. This was cringe. Oh, a pancake. Cringe. What are you going to do, man?